If you're waking up 3, 4, even 5 times every single night to use the bathroom, and you're thinking it's just part of getting older, I need to tell you something that might change everything, because what you're experiencing has a name. It's called nocturia. And while your doctor might tell you it's normal after 60, there's a natural solution hiding in your kitchen pantry right now that acts like a brake for your bladder. And I'm going to show you exactly how it works. Before we go any further, let me be clear. I'm not a doctor, and nothing in this video should replace professional medical advice. If you're experiencing frequent nighttime urination, especially if it's new or getting worse, please see your healthcare provider to rule out underlying conditions. Now, let's talk about what's really happening. You've probably already tried everything, haven't you? You stopped drinking water after 6 in the evening. You gave up your evening tea. You even started setting an alarm to go right before bed, hoping that would buy you a few extra hours. But you're still waking up. 2 times, 3 times, sometimes more. Here's what they don't tell you. This isn't really about how much water you're drinking. It's about what's happening deep inside your body. For men, there's a walnut-sized gland called the prostate that sits right below your bladder. As we age, this gland can start to swell. It presses against your urethra like someone stepping on a garden hose. Your bladder tries to push urine through, but it can't empty completely. So even though you just went to the bathroom 30 minutes ago, your bladder is already sending signals again. For women, it's often about the pelvic floor muscles that support your bladder getting weaker over time. These muscles are supposed to hold everything in place, like a hammock. But after years of childbirth, gravity, and hormonal changes, that hammock starts to sag. Your bladder drops. It becomes oversensitive. It starts sending false alarms that you need to go, even when there's barely anything there. Now, let me introduce you to something that might sound too simple to work, but has changed lives. I'm talking about pumpkin seeds. Not the white ones you carve out of Halloween pumpkins. I'm talking about the raw green seeds called pepitas. And even more powerful, the oil that's pressed from these seeds. You've probably walked past them 100 times in the grocery store and never thought twice. But inside these little green seeds are 2 compounds that work like a natural brake for your bladder. The first is called beta, the second is zinc, and together they do something remarkable. Let's start with beta-sitosterol. This is a plant compound that's found in high concentrations in pumpkin seeds. And here's what makes it so powerful for men dealing with an enlarged prostate. Beta-sitosterol works by blocking the enzyme that causes prostate tissue to swell. Think of your prostate like a sponge. When it's inflamed, it absorbs fluid and expands, squeezing that tube that carries urine out of your body. Beta-sitosterol tells that sponge to stop absorbing, to release the pressure, to shrink back down. Multiple studies have shown that men who take beta-sitosterol experience better urine flow, more complete bladder emptying, and fewer nighttime bathroom trips. One study published in the British Journal of Urology found that men taking beta-sitosterol reduced their nighttime urination by almost 50%. Now, let's talk about zinc. Your body uses zinc for over 300 different processes. But here's what matters for your bladder. Zinc is absolutely critical for muscle tone and tissue repair. Your pelvic floor muscles, the ones that hold your bladder in place, need zinc to stay strong and responsive. Your bladder wall itself, which needs to stretch when it's filling and contract when it's time to empty, needs zinc to maintain that elasticity. But here's the problem. As we age, our bodies become less efficient at absorbing zinc from food. By age 65, almost 30% of seniors are deficient in zinc. And when you're zinc deficient, those pelvic floor muscles start to weaken. Your bladder loses its tone. It becomes what doctors call overactive, sending urgent signals even when it's barely half full. Let me tell you about Thomas. He's 71 years old, lives in Ohio, and until 6 months ago, he hadn't slept through the night in almost 3 years. He told me he was waking up 5 times every single night. 2 in the morning, 3:30, 4:45, 6 o'clock. By the time his alarm went off at 7, he'd already been to the bathroom twice. He was exhausted all the time. His wife was exhausted. He started falling asleep during afternoon church services. His doctor ran tests and said his prostate was enlarged, but not enough for medication yet. So Thomas kept suffering. Then his daughter, who's a nutritionist, told him about pumpkin seed oil. Thomas was skeptical. He'd tried cranberry juice, he'd tried cutting back fluids, he'd tried everything. But he figured, what's the harm? He started taking 1 tablespoon of pumpkin seed oil every morning with breakfast. Within 2 weeks, something shifted. He went from 5 times a night to 3 times. By week 4, he was down to 2 times. And after 2 months, Thomas told me something that made him tear up. He woke up one morning at 5:30 and realized he hadn't gotten up once during the night. Not once. For the first time in 3 years, he'd slept 7 straight hours. His energy came back. He stopped falling asleep in church. He told me, I forgot what it felt like to actually be rested. I thought that part of my life was just over, but it wasn't over. It just needed the right support. Now, I want to be clear. Thomas's experience is his own. Results vary from person to person, but his story isn't unique. I've heard from dozens of people who've had similar experiences with pumpkin seeds and pumpkin seed oil. So how do you actually use this? You have 2 options, and both work. Option 1, raw pumpkin seeds, also called pepitas. You want the raw, unsalted green seeds, not the white shells. You're looking for about 1 to 2 tablespoons per day. You can eat them straight as a snack. Sprinkle them on yogurt, blend them into smoothies, or toss them in salads.
The image on the left
they have a
shows
mild,
healthy
slightly
prostate
nutty
and
flavor,
unobstructed
option 2.
urinary flow.
And this is
On
what
the
Thomas
right,
used,
an enlarged
pumpkin seed oil. This is the concentrated form. You're looking for cold-pressed organic pumpkin seed oil. It's a dark, emerald green color with a rich, slightly earthy taste. Take 1 tablespoon per day, either straight off the spoon or mixed into food. Some people drizzle it on salads or vegetables. You can find both pumpkin seeds and pumpkin seed oil at most health food stores
swelling is
or
visibly reduced.
online. Now, let me tell you about Linda. She's 68, lives in Texas, and her situation was different from Thomas's. Linda didn't have a prostate, obviously, but she was still waking up 4 times a night. Her pelvic floor had weakened after 3 pregnancies decades ago. She'd done Kegel exercises. She'd tried bladder training. Nothing seemed to help. Her doctor told her it was just weak pelvic muscles and suggested she might eventually need a surgical mesh procedure. That terrified her because she'd heard stories about complications. Linda started taking pumpkin seeds, about 2 tablespoons every morning mixed into her oatmeal. She also added pumpkin seed oil, 1 tablespoon in the evening. She didn't expect much, but after about 3 weeks, she noticed she was only getting up 3 times instead of 4. After 2 months, she was down to once or twice. The reason pumpkin seeds work for both men and women is because they address 2 different but related problems. For men like Thomas, the beta-sitosterol reduces prostate inflammation and improves urine flow. For women like Linda, the zinc strengthens pelvic floor muscles and reduces bladder overactivity. Both mechanisms lead to the same result: fewer nighttime bathroom trips and better sleep. Now here's something important. This isn't a quick fix. You won't take pumpkin seeds tonight and sleep through tomorrow night. The compounds need time to build up in your system. For some people, like Thomas, changes start within 2 weeks. For others, it might take 4 to 6 weeks. You need to be consistent every day, and you need to give your body time to respond. Imagine what your life would look like if you could sleep 6, 7, maybe even 8 hours without interruption. Imagine waking up once to sunlight instead of stumbling to the bathroom in the dark 3 times before dawn. Imagine having the energy to do the things you used to do, to travel without worrying about finding bathrooms every hour, to go to a movie without scouting the exit row, to sleep over at your grandkid's house without embarrassment. That's not a fantasy. That's what better bladder control actually gives you back: your independence, your dignity, your rest. And sometimes, all it takes is something as simple as a handful of seeds. Now, let me give you some practical tips. If you're using raw pumpkin seeds, store them in an airtight container in a cool, dry place. They can go rancid if exposed to heat or light for too long. If you're using pumpkin seed oil, keep it refrigerated after opening. The oil is delicate and can oxidize. Start with the lower end of the dosage, especially if you're not used to eating seeds or oils. Some people experience mild digestive adjustment in the first few days. That's normal. Give your body time to adapt. And here's a pro tip. Pair pumpkin seeds with vitamin C-rich foods like oranges or strawberries. Vitamin C helps your body absorb the zinc more effectively. So if you're sprinkling seeds on yogurt, add some berries too. Before I wrap up, I need to emphasize something crucial. If you're experiencing any of the following, please see your doctor immediately. If you have blood in your urine, if you're experiencing pain or burning when you urinate, if you have sudden loss of bladder control, if you're urinating much more frequently during the day as well, especially with excessive thirst. These can be signs of serious conditions like urinary tract infections, diabetes, prostate cancer, or bladder cancer. Pumpkin seeds are a supportive tool for general bladder health, but they are not a cure for serious medical conditions. Always work with your healthcare provider. Get proper testing. Rule out anything dangerous. And then, with your doctor's approval, you can add pumpkin seeds as part of your overall wellness strategy. Your doctor might even be impressed that you're taking such a proactive approach. Here's what I want you to remember. Waking up multiple times every night isn't something you just have to accept. Your body is trying to tell you something, and sometimes the solution is simpler than you think. Thomas didn't need surgery. Linda didn't need a prescription. They needed the right nutrients to support what their bodies were already trying to do. Pumpkin seeds have been used for bladder and prostate health for hundreds of years. Long before modern medicine, traditional healers knew these seeds had power. Now science is catching up and showing us why.
A healthy prostate.
If you're tired of being tired,
urinary flow.
if you're exhausted from broken sleep, if you just want one good night of rest, maybe it's time to try the bladder break that's been hiding in your pantry all along. Thank you for watching the Senior Health Hub. Take care of yourself and sleep well.